The night in the rural heartlands of Southeast Asia is never truly silent. If you listen closely, beneath the chorus of crickets and the rustling of bamboo leaves, there is a heaviness in the humid air. It is a darkness so thick it feels ancient. For centuries, the villagers here have lived by a simple rule. When the sun sets, you stay inside. You lock your doors, you close your windows, and no matter what you hear scratching beneath the floorboards of your wooden house, you never, ever look down. Tonight, the moon is hidden behind thick monsoon clouds. The rice fields stretch out into the black void, appearing like a dark ocean. In a small, isolated house on stilts, a young woman lies in bed, tossing and turning. Her body is burning with a fever that no doctor could diagnose. Her skin is pale, slick with cold sweat. She is not just sick, she is changing. The clock strikes midnight. The air in the room drops in temperature. The woman's breathing becomes ragged, gasping for air as if drowning. Suddenly, her eyes snap open, but they are not her eyes anymore. The pupils are dilated, consuming the iris, leaving only black voids that reflect a hunger not of this world. A sharp, sickening, cracking sound echoes through the room. It is the sound of bones separating. Her neck stretches unnaturally. The skin around her throat begins to tear, but there is no blood, not yet. Instead, a strange, pulsating red light begins to glow from within her chest. With a wet, tearing noise that sounds like raw meat being pulled apart, her head begins to lift from the pillow. But her body remains perfectly still. As her head rises, it drags something with it. A mass of wet, glistening organs slides out from the cavity of her neck, the heart still beating, the stomach pulsing with hunger, the intestines trailing down like grotesque tentacles. She is no longer human. She is the Krasue. She hovers in the air, suspended by an unseen force. The glow from her internal organs casts a terrifying red hue against the wooden walls, like a lantern made of flesh. She turns towards the open window. The hunger is overwhelming. It drives her. It commands her. She floats out into the night sky. To an outsider, she might look like a floating ball of fire, a will-o'-the-wisp drifting over the fields. But this is no trick of the light. She moves with purpose. She does not fly high like a bird. She skims low over the tall grass, her trailing intestines brushing against the tips of the rice plants, leaving a trail of slime and decay. The village dogs start to howl. They know, they can smell the scent of death approaching, but they do not bark to attack. They whimper and hide beneath the houses, terrified of the predator that defies the laws of nature. The Krasue does not hunt for flesh like a tiger or a wolf. Her craving is far more vile. She is drawn to the scent of filth, of blood, of raw things. She drifts towards the outskirts of the village, where the scent of cattle hangs in the air. A cow stands in its pen, restless. It senses the predator. The floating head approaches slowly, her eyes fixated on the animal. But tonight, the filth of animals is not enough. The hunger demands more. She senses something sweeter, something more potent. In a house at the edge of the village, a woman has just given birth. The scent of fresh blood acts like a beacon in the dark. The Krasue turns, her glowing heart beating faster. She begins to float towards the house, silent as a shadow, deadly as a plague. She arrives at the wooden house. The smell of the newborn is intoxicating. She descends towards the underside of the house, intending to slip through the gaps in the floorboards. In these traditional elevated homes, the space beneath is dark and damp, the perfect entry point for a creature that drags its insides behind it. But the villagers are not foolish. They know the legends. They know what stalks the night. As the Krasue lowers herself, her trailing intestines snag on something sharp. She hisses in pain. The villagers have surrounded the base of the house with piles of thorny branches, bamboo thorns and jujube spikes, sharp as needles. It is a primitive but effective defense. Her organs, delicate and exposed, are caught in the brambles. She pulls back, screeching, a sound that is not quite human, a sound like a bat mixed with a woman's scream. She cannot reach the floorboards. The thorns tear at her stomach. The pain is excruciating. Frustrated and wounded, she is forced to retreat. The prize is so close, yet unreachable. Denied her feast, her hunger turns desperate. She drifts away from the house, moving towards the village dump site. If she cannot have fresh blood, she will consume filth. She feeds on the unspeakable, wiping her bloody mouth on the clothes villagers have left hanging outside overnight, a mark of shame and a warning for the morning. Hours pass. The feast continues in the shadows. But then the atmosphere shifts. The air grows cooler. A rooster crows in the distance. The sky to the east begins to turn a bruised purple. Dawn is coming. For the Krasue, the sun is not just an enemy, it is a death sentence. If sunlight touches her exposed organs, or if she fails to return to her body before the day begins, she will die a true and final death. Panic sets in. She abandons her hunt. She flies faster now, no longer drifting but darting through the trees. The red glow of her heart pulses violently with her anxiety. She must find her way back. She reaches her own house. The windows are still open, just as she left them. She floats inside, the first rays of light threatening to crest the horizon. There, on the bed, lies her headless body. It is cold, pale and motionless, an empty vessel waiting to be filled. This is the most dangerous moment. She must align herself perfectly. She hovers over the neck cavity. Slowly, carefully, she lowers her mass of organs back into the body. The intestines slide back into the torso. The stomach settles into place. Finally, the neck connects. There is a sickening squelch as flesh meets flesh. The skin knits itself back together, leaving only a faint red line around her throat. The glow fades. The monster is gone. The woman on the bed gasps. Her eyes snap open. They are human eyes again. She is drenched in sweat, exhausted as if she has run a marathon. Her mouth tastes of iron and dirt. She feels a dull ache in her stomach where the thorns scratched her. She walks to the mirror. She looks normal. She looks like a neighbor, a sister, a daughter, but she knows, and the villagers suspect. Later that morning, she walks through the market. People whisper. They look at the faint red ring around her neck, hidden poorly by a scarf. They see the exhaustion in her face. They refuse to look her in the eye. She buys her food in silence, knowing that tonight, when the sun sets, the fever will return, the hunger will return, and the head will detach once more. She is a prisoner in her own skin, cursed to live a life of eternal hunger, forever hunting in the dark, forever fearing the light. The legend is not just a story, it is her life, and tonight she will hunt again.